priorities. We all have them. I mean, we're all different. Everyone's priority is different. And we're going to talk a little bit about my priorities for the country and why they are what they are. But you have them in your own personal life too, right? I do too. You have an order of things you place importance on. Food, shelter, water, that kind of stuff, basic human needs, wife, husband, kids, whatever you got, job. You have your life ordered, priorities. I keep priorities in politics. You do too. This is human nature. You vote on certain issues. Now, that doesn't mean you don't or I don't have strong feelings about many issues. You watch I'm Right every night. I have strong feelings about all of them. But when it comes to things like 2024, the choosing of the GOP nominee, the presidential primary, as you know, I am currently an undecided voter. As of this moment, not a single person has earned my vote. It's my vote. It's the only one I get. It's the only political power I have. I intend to use my political power to the max. So, not that I think that they're going to sit and scream and yell and whine over just me and my vote, but if you were a GOP presidential candidate for 2024, how would you earn my vote? What do I prioritize? Well, two things. One, COVID lockdowns. The land of the free turning into a police state. Governments actually telling people, no, you can't go to work. People saying goodbye to their dying mother on a Zoom call. Children now who can't read. COVID lockdowns. If you participated in them, and virtually every Republican candidate running for office did participate in them and push them, all of them did, I need to hear how you will address that. If I get ownership, if I get apologies, if I get, I don't know, some sort of contrition, I will consider giving you my vote. If I don't get those things, you can never earn my vote as a Republican nominee. You simply cannot. Period. Don't care who you are. I don't live in a tyranny. I live in the land of the free. That's one. Two, this is actually my only other one. Even though I have such strong feelings about a variety of issues, my other thing that I will vote on for the 2024 presidential nominee is I want to know about your plans for the administrative state in this country. More specifically, even though all of it's bad, more specifically, I want to know what you're going to do with the DOJ and the FBI. And before I elaborate on this and I go into what Merrick Garland said yesterday, I want to be clear about something. I've said this before, I'm going to say it again. Do you know how many people Hitler, Mao, Stalin, Pol Pot, do you know how many people those guys killed after they achieved total power? Do you know how many people they killed? None. Not according to any records we have. They didn't personally kill anybody once they achieved power. So how did all those millions of people die? Well, their administrative states killed them. Their state police did the killing in whatever form it took. If we have a federal bureau of investigation that has become the weaponized arm of the Democratic Party, and that's very much what we do have, it will end the United States of America if it is not fixed. I want to know, as a candidate, I want you to tell me what you're going to do about it. I watched Merrick Garland yesterday. I watched him do something, not that surprised me, but man, I already felt this way, but it just drove something home. Merrick Garland, sitting in front of the United States Senate, that's a big deal, right? An intimidating deal. Merrick Garland sat in front of them and said something that it's kind of funny on the surface, but it's so unbelievably sinister and a little bit intimidating when you actually think about it. Here's what he said.
I will say you're quite right. There are many more prosecutions with respect to the blocking of the abortion centers, but that is generally because those actions are taken with photography at the time, during the daylight, and seeing the person who did it is quite easy. Those who are attacking the pregnancy resources centers, which is a horrid thing to do, are doing this at night in the dark.
I'm sorry? Mr. Producer, maybe I got that wrong. Did he just say we can't find the people burning down pregnancy centers because they're doing it in the dark? Obviously, that's laugh out loud idiotic. It's crazy. The top law enforcement officer in the United States of America claiming they can't seem to track down those street communists because it's dark out. It's ridiculous on its surface, but it's so much more sinister when you think about it. It's so much more evil when you think about it. And you know what's sinister and evil about it? The level of disrespect that shows to the Senate and the American people. If I develop a drinking problem, let's say I just decide to start hitting the bottle and I want to hide it from the wife. So I start, on the way home from the studio, every single night I decide I'm going to stop at the bar and have me about 5 or 6 drinks. But I don't want to tell her. So the first night when I show up at home late, I say, I had a flat tire. She's going to say, oh, that sucks. I'm sorry. Let's get it fixed. But then when I say it the second night I do that, and the third night I do that, she's going to know right away, okay, he doesn't have a flat tire. He's been lying. But if I keep telling this blatant lie to her face over and over and over again, sorry, I'm late, had a flat tire. What does that tell you about my level of respect for her? The Attorney General of the United States of America sat in front of the United States Senate and told them he couldn't arrest street communists because it's too dark outside. You GOP senators who watch this show and your staffers, what do you think that says about you and his thoughts on you? And this all comes, by the way, as the government, the administrative state, is embarking in a PR campaign. There's no other way to put it. You've seen all these headlines come out. Bizarrely, in about the last week, there have been all these FBI headlines coming out that kind of make the FBI look a little better to you, don't they? The FBI came out and said, hey, we always knew COVID came from a lab. Wait, what? Hold on, what are you, right-wingers now? FBI's out there sitting down with Brett Baer. Hey, I just want to sit down and give an interview. Well, why is all that happening? Why the PR campaign? Because they know they're about to have to give testimony the same way Merrick Garland just did in front of the United States House of Representatives and probably the Senate, and they're simply trying to soften their image. But back to what we're talking about, priorities for 2024. Why do I make that a priority? We don't have a country anymore if this continues. It's really that serious. I need to get this through to everybody. I've been shouting this at the GOP over and over again. This is not a small thing. This is not bias. These people possess the power to send 30 armed federal agents to your front door to arrest you for being pro-life, and they're using that power, and that's what they're doing now. What does that look like 10 years from now, 15 years from now? 20 years from now. Chuck Grassley, the whistleblowers. Listen to Chuck Grassley.
Recent lawfully protected whistleblower disclosures to my office indicate that the Justice Department and the FBI had at one time over a dozen sources that provided potentially criminal information relating to Hunter Biden.
I have pledged not to interfere with that investigation, and I have carried through on my pledge.
They covered up for the president, for the son and the president of the United States of America so he could win an election and Donald Trump would lose an election. And they've continued that cover up ever since. We have dozens of whistleblowers coming forward to talk about that. We have now a Praetorian Guard. We have a Cheka, not in the future, it's right now. When I'm going in to cast my vote in 2024, I want to hear the plan. Because you no longer live in the land of the free if this is what we have.